everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel and thanks for joining me for another video. So today I'm going to be doing a pregnancy and newborn Q&A. So you guys have been asking me questions over on Instagram and I'm going to go ahead and answer all of those for you today. I did actually have to cut this off early because I was getting a lot of questions through and this video would have literally been like an hour long. So I thought I'll rein it in and just pick the first ones that have kind of come through and we will go from there. So I've got everything written down on my little notepad and I will go ahead and answer those for you guys now. So grab a cup of tea, I've just got one in my little cat mug, grab some snacks, get comfortable. It may be a slightly longer video, but let's get into it. Okay, so the first question is, did you get anxiety in the early stages of pregnancy, and if so, what helped to calm you? So yes I did. I think it's normal. I don't really think you'll come across anyone that says they weren't anxious in the early stages of pregnancy. I was very paranoid, very on edge. I had no reason to be. I'd never had a bad experience before. I was very lucky, but I was still very nervous. So I found personally what helped for me is to go for an early scan. We actually booked a private early scan when I think they dated me at 7 weeks and 5 days at that point. And that cost, I think it was around £60, but it was well worth it because obviously the first 12 weeks is so long to wait. And I found out really early as well. So I was literally like 2 weeks pregnant when I found out. So, oh my God, like that wait is just the longest ever. The first trimester is definitely, it just feels like forever. You feel so ill as well. You can't share it with anyone. No one really knows what's going on. So yeah, I would definitely say to go for an early scan. It would definitely put you at ease. They say you can have it from about 6 weeks, and just to see that little heartbeat, just to break up that first 12 weeks before your first NHS scan really does help. So next question, how did you know how much to feed Joel when you stopped breastfeeding, and are you still feeding on demand? So no, I'm not feeding on demand now just because I haven't needed to. He always wants to feed at the times that are kind of normal for babies to want to feed now. He used to go every 2 hours and now we kind of push it out to every 2.5 to 3 hours. So on the formula tin it says for a baby of his age he should be having 180 ml 5 times a day, but obviously if he wants feeding more regularly than that, then we just drop the amount of formula down each time. So I would probably do like 150 ml 6 times a day or something like that. So you just kind of work it out from there, but the formula tin does tell you and it gives you a guide. So that's kind of what I always went by. And then if he wanted more than the recommended amount of feeds on the tin, like I said, I would just drop the formula amount down to so it's still kind of added up to 5 lots of 180 per day, because I just wanted to make sure that obviously I wasn't overfeeding him. And with formula, I've heard that babies can be a bit chubbier. I don't know if that's the case, but I haven't found that with him at all. And yeah, that's kind of what we stuck to really. But yeah, I would say once he got to about 10-11 weeks, he stopped wanting to feed every 2 hours and he is going longer between feeds. So he will now have his first feed at about 7:30 in the morning when he wakes up, and then his next one at about 10:30, the third one at about 1 o'clock, fourth feed at 4:30, and then his last feed at bedtime, so that's about 7 to 7:30, and that is his daily routine. He no longer wants a night feed. If he did wake up in the night and he was really inconsolable, then yes, I would give in and I would feed him, but I don't really want to get back into that routine unless he absolutely needs one, because now that he's dropped his night feeds, guys, I am not about to take that job back on again. So the next question is, sorry, I've lost where I am now. Next question, sorry guys, mum brain today. When did you start establishing a bedtime routine for Joel? So we started this at 8 weeks because when he was a newborn, or when any baby's a newborn, you just kind of want them to be downstairs with you. I wasn't ready to put him up in his room on his own before we went to bed till he was about 8 weeks old, and even then I did feel a bit guilty, but I think you do get to a point where you are ready to have your evenings back, you're ready to just switch off. So yeah, it got to 8 weeks and I thought I'm just going to start trying to put him to bed earlier. So we started doing the routine from about 8 o'clock and putting him down for about 9, half 9. And then he started getting a bit grizzly from about sort of 7 o'clock onwards. So we thought we're just going to try it earlier because he must just be overtired. So we started doing it at about half 6, 7, so now he's in bed by 7:30, and that works for him. Obviously every baby's different, but I think 8 weeks, you're just coming out of the newborn period then, and that's a good time to start getting the bedtime routine in place. The next question, how did you cope when your husband went back to work at the start? So it is nerve-wracking, I'm not gonna lie, but once you've done the first day and you've got that out of the way, it is absolutely fine. I can't speak for everyone. We've had a fairly easy experience with Joel. He is quite a placid baby, apart from his reflux, which has been a bit of a challenge. He isn't too bad. I mean, don't get me wrong, I am kind of like, some nights I am ready to hand him over to Steve when Steve gets in from work, just because I just need that time to myself, just for 20 minutes, half an hour. But yeah, Steve went back to work after 2 weeks. He had the 2 weeks paternity leave from work. And I think the first day he went back, I was a little bit emotional. I was like, oh, like our little newborn bubble has ended. But I think you will just find your feet. You'll find a little routine that works for you and your baby. I found as well that just getting out and about, just get out and about with your baby, because if you're sitting at home all day, you will literally go insane. So speak to some other mums. I mean, we did an NCT course and I can recommend it 100%. It was a lifesaver because I now know other mums at the same stage as me in my area, and we meet up a couple of times a week. We do a baby class together every Friday, and then we'll do a couple of other things as well, and it's been a lifesaver. So just getting out of the house, even if you don't know any other mums, just go for a walk with the pram, go to the local park, just do something to get out of the house every day, and that would definitely help with your husband being back at work. Because like I said, if you're just sitting in the house all day, they are the worst kind of days for me. I find that Joel is more unsettled, and I just drive myself insane. I can't be in the house all day. So my best advice is just to try and get out and about as much as you can when they first go back to work, and keep yourself busy. Okay, so next question, I do get this one quite a lot over on Instagram. How are you losing the baby weight? So I am not back to my pre-pregnancy weight yet. I'm now 15 weeks postpartum today, and I'm not back to my pre-pregnancy weight yet. And even when I got pregnant, I actually wanted to lose about half a stone at that point as well. So I do have quite a way to go. I think I've got about 11 pounds to go to get to my pre-pregnancy weight, and then I would ideally, if I can, like to lose another half a stone on top of that. So what I found in the beginning when I first had him, I lost pretty much all of the water weight in my chin, my thighs, like all of my cellulite kind of just disappeared within the first few days of having him, because it's literally just all the water retention you're holding when you're heavily pregnant. So that disappeared really quickly. And then I found, not everyone gets this, but I found that I really lost my appetite. I think I was just tired. I was stressed from like trying to exclusively breastfeed, and having no help with feeds because I was breastfeeding. I was the only one that could feed him. And some people say that makes them really, really hungry, but I just didn't feel like eating. I was so thirsty. I was just drinking water all the time. So then that kind of got like the first bit of weight off me. That first bit did drop off, and then I started eating healthily. When my appetite started coming back, I would have, so normally on a Sunday I will get a roast chicken and I'll cook it, and then I'll have that for lunch every day because that's already in the fridge, it's prepped. I don't need to make too much time whilst looking after a baby to go and prep myself anything. And then Steve is the chef in our relationship, so he normally cooks dinner. So yeah, for lunch I will normally have the chicken with some salad, some like avocado, peppers, lettuce, whatever I fancy really. And then my mid-afternoon snack, I do like to have a bit of chocolate in the afternoon. So I've been buying those little mini Kinder chocolate bars to have if I just want something sweet, because I think they're only about 71 calories or something like that. So I'll have that. I will also have a can of Coke Zero because I don't drink tea. I don't drink coffee. So that gives me my caffeine and stops me from going insane with sugar cravings, but it's Coke Zero, so it's not as bad as like full fat Coke. And then for dinner, we will have like salmon and stir fry or steak and veg or something like that. And And yeah, I found that has been helping. I'm not gonna lie, October's a tough month. There's a lot of people's birthdays in October, including mine. So I have fallen off the wagon a little bit this month and my weight loss has stalled. But I have just bought a diet plan from Sophie Lou Taylor. She has a channel on YouTube and I follow her on Instagram, so definitely go over and check out her channel. It's really helpful. But she's a personal trainer and I've just bought a diet plan off her. So I think I will be starting that on Monday next week. So I'm really excited to try that. And hopefully I would then shift this last stone. So Sophie's diet plans are £15 on her website. If you would like the link, just comment down below and I can send it over to you. And she also does like a diet and fitness plan for £30. It's about £30 if you're into that as well. But I've just gone for the diet plan for now, and then I'm going to try and do lots more walking with the baby in the carrier, because I find that getting out and going for a walk, it just boosts your metabolism that little bit rather than just sitting on the sofa all day with the baby. So yeah, that'll be my best advice, and I'm hoping that this diet plan can help me to get the last bit of baby weight off. Hopefully by March, by the time we're coming into spring and I'm ready to not be wearing baggy jumpers again, hopefully that last bit of weight will finally shift. So the next question, I think a couple of people have asked me this one actually. What's your average day like now that you have a baby, and how do you manage to get everything done? The answer to that is I don't get everything done. I definitely don't. If you see me over on Instagram and think that I have my shit together, I definitely don't. You just need to accept when you have a baby that some days are going to be a complete write-off, and other days you will feel like you have your shit together, you've got everything done, you'll feel amazing, and then the next day you'll have an absolute disaster and your baby won't let you put them down. They'll keep crying whenever you try and put them down to get something done, and I'm learning to take a step back and slow down. I'm the kind of person that it was fine when he was a newborn. I didn't mind sitting around all day. All I wanted to do was hug him. Now he's a little bit older, I am ready to have my routine back and leave that sort of chaotic newborn stage behind. As much as I miss him being tiny, yeah, I'm ready to have a proper daytime routine back, because I feel like we've nailed the bedtime routine now. That's going really, really well for now. I'm sure it will probably change at some point when he gets older. But the daytime routine, I'm really trying to start getting into like a nap routine and things like that. So I'm using the Huckleberry app, and I would highly recommend it. You put in like the daily naps, daily feeds in there, and you can start tracking everything. It tells you when your child should be napping, depending on their age and things like that. And today was the first proper day that I've been using it, and it's been amazing. And the times that the app suggested Joel should be having a nap, that was when he was getting tired and rubbing his eyes and things like that. So hopefully now they say when they're about 16 weeks they start napping more during the day. So he is 16 weeks a week today. So hopefully by the time he's 16 weeks we will have more of an established day routine. So I will do a video on that. I've got a video on here with like a day in the life with a new baby. So definitely check that out. But it's not really like a routine, it's just kind of an average day in the life. So when we have more of a day routine, I will do a separate like vlog on that one. But yeah, with regards to getting everything done, I find with my cleaning, I find it really, really hard, because Joel will only nap for like half an hour during the day at a time, and I just can't, by the time I've started cleaning or got everything together to work out what I need to do next, he's woken up. So I find that, so Steve will have him on a Saturday and he'll take him out for the day and go and watch some football with his friends, and that's his time with Joel, which is quite nice, because then it means I get a day to myself. I can blitz the house, and then Sunday is obviously like our family day, so we do get like one family day together a week, and then Saturdays I will get a bit of a break, well, not a break, but I will get to clean the house, and that is when I get the majority of my cleaning done. During the week it's just little things like I'll go and wash his bottles while he's taking a nap, or I'll put some washing on and hang it out. But yeah, with regards to like showering in the morning, I will put Joel in his crib and put some like dancing fruit and veg videos on YouTube on my phone, so he can watch those, and I'm a quick shower, so I'll be in and out in 5 minutes, and yeah, he's absolutely fine usually. But yeah, you will get into your own little routine. He's good now, he knows when it's time to get ready in the morning. So if I'm going out for the day, but I'm not going out till like 11 o'clock, Joel's happy time is after his morning feed at about 8:30. So I make the most of that time to leave him in his crib with those videos, sensory videos on my phone, and I will take advantage of being able to have a shower, quickly do my makeup, and then by that point he's grizzling, so I rarely get time to do my hair at that point as well. But I will probably, if I'm going out at about 11:30, I will get ready a lot earlier, because I know at that when I'm due to go out it will be a rush because it's like his feed and nap time. So you'll find your own routine, and it's just sort of about planning ahead and trying to work around that. But like I said, you just need to accept that some days are going to be a complete write-off, complete disaster. You won't get anything done, and trust me, I have plenty of days like that. So don't worry about it, just take it as it comes. It's completely normal. The housework, as they say, can wait, or just get your other half just to take the baby out for a day at the weekend. If you're breastfeeding, you can express some milk for them, just so you can get a few more bits done and just have some time to yourself. And then with regards to like an average day, like I said, there's a separate video on it on my channel that I did last week, I think it was. But we go to a baby sensory class every Friday morning. That's with the girls from our antenatal group. We actually did an NCT course, and I'd highly recommend that if you're pregnant, for like meeting other mums in your area. So I go with them to this class every Friday, and then I would say about 2 to 3 times a week I will go and meet other mums. There's a couple of girls from my work that are on maternity leave, so I'll go and meet them, or go for a walk with the NCT girls, just to get me out of the house really, because like I said in a previous question, you'll go insane if you just sit inside all day, and you need sort of adult contact as well, because you're not at work, you're not speaking to people all day. So definitely try and meet up with some other people, and that's kind of an average day really. We'll get up, I'll go for a walk either on my own or with someone else. Afternoons are kind of more chilled. We'll kind of watch some TV, or we'll have some sensory playtime. He'll obviously have his usual naps and things, but yeah, I don't have a very exciting life, to be honest, at the moment. But yeah, like I said, one minute and more of a routine, I will do a separate daytime routine video. So the next question, do you have any fears for when Joel grows up? Just him growing up really. I can't imagine him ever not being a baby. He's growing way too fast already. And yeah, it's scary how quick it goes. I don't think my life has ever gone so fast. But yeah, I think apart from that, just maybe like, I get scared about bullying at school. Like I'm obviously gonna bring him up not to be a bully, but I'm scared about him getting bullied. And I mean, kids can be really nasty to each other, so I do worry about that. Like the thought of anyone being nasty to him just absolutely breaks my heart. And then also when he's even older, just worry about him getting in with the wrong crowd and getting into trouble, things like that. So I think every stage of your child's life you're going to worry about something, but they are probably like my main fears at the moment. Okay, next question. Do you have any tips for a breastfeeding first-time mum? Okay, so I'm not an expert on this at all. I exclusively breastfed for the first 4 weeks of Joel's life, and it was tough. I'm not gonna lie, it's the toughest thing I've ever done, and it's hard because your partner can't get up in the night and help you with those night feeds. I wouldn't expect him to now he's back at work, but when they're on maternity leave, they can't get up and help you. You can't ever have a night off. You can't really ever be away from your baby at all just to have a break. It is tough, but if you enjoy it, I would say definitely stick at it. And I've spoken a bit about my breastfeeding journey in my what to expect in a 4th trimester video, so check that out. I do speak a bit more about it there, so I won't go into too much detail, but my tip would be, if you're not enjoying it, don't have any shame in combi feeding or switching to formula, but if you're enjoying it, definitely stick it out. After those first 6 weeks, it gets so much easier. That's what I've been told, and we were still combi feeding at 6 weeks, and it did get easier. Like his latch just suddenly got so much better. I never really got that full feeling anymore. So stick it out, hang in there, it will get better. Lots and lots of nipple cream. So the one that I recommend is the Lancino nipple cream. That's the really expensive one, but it's so worth it. I think one of my friends gifted it to me at my baby shower, and just literally in those first few weeks when you're going to be very, very sore, put that on twice a day or before every feed. The good thing is you can have it on while you're feeding, and it's not going to be harmful to the baby. So I would recommend that completely. So stock up on that. stock up on your breast pads, and that's my best advice really. And also, if you're struggling, don't be afraid to ask your midwife or your support worker or your health visitor for help, because I didn't really ask for that much help because I'm not good at asking for help. I'm just rubbish. Definitely ask for help. I think that's probably why I gave up after 4 weeks, because I just didn't really have that support. Well, I did have that support, but I didn't reach out to it. So take advantage of the support that's around you if you're struggling, because most people will struggle with breastfeeding at the start. Don't be afraid to ask for help, because you will then hopefully be able to carry on for a little bit longer, especially if you're enjoying it. And the other thing I would say about breastfeeding is, if you want to express eventually, start doing it early. I know they say wait till 6 weeks when your milk supply is established, but I don't know anyone that's waited 6 weeks. I started expressing after a week, and I find the longer you leave it, the more likely your baby is to get confusion between the teat and your nipple. So definitely introduce a bottle or a dummy if you want to use dummies. Introduce those things early so that your baby isn't just used to your nipple, because I know people that have waited too long and then their baby won't take a bottle, so they're absolutely stuck and they've just got to carry on breastfeeding. So yeah, if you want to express, like I said, buy a pump, start that early after the first week. Once you've got a good latch established on you, then you can start expressing. And if you are expressing, and you've got a bottle, say you're out and about, you want to give them a bottle rather than breastfeed in public, which is what I was like, don't miss a feed. So go to the toilet and hand express. Just don't miss a feed, because I kept expressing bottles for him, but then not feeding him off me because he was having a bottle instead. Then I would have essentially skipped a feed. And I ended up with 2 bouts of mastitis in the first 4 weeks, which is one of the main reasons why I stopped exclusively breastfeeding, because I was so ill. I couldn't look after him for like 24 hours. Steve had to come home from work. I had a raging fever. I could not get out of bed. I was so ill. So yeah, make sure that you do everything you can not to miss a feed and not to let yourself get too full, because mastitis is not very nice, but it is so common. So just be really careful that you are emptying regularly and not letting yourself get too full, because that's what leads to the blocked ducts, and then that's what leads to the mastitis. So the next question is, what is the hardest thing about looking after or having a baby as a first-time mum? So, I mean, the whole thing really, it's a massive life change, and everyone will tell you how hard it is, and you're like, yeah, but you will never quite realise till they're actually here. That, I would say in the beginning, the sleep deprivation, that is so hard, but it does get better, so do hang in there. I would say about 6 weeks we started getting a bit more sleep, and then from 8 weeks he slept through the night. I know every baby's different, I know not every baby will do that, but it will still get easier. They will still sleep for long periods. Those early days he used to be up every sort of 2 hours throughout the night, and that is just, I've never known tiredness like it. I thought I was tired when I was pregnant. I thought I was tired when I used to work 60 hours a week. Oh my God, like newborn tiredness is just something else. But it does get better, so please like hang in there. I promise it will get easier if you're going through that at the moment. Also, mentioned in my last question, exclusively breastfeeding. That was probably one of the toughest things I found. I think everyone says before they have a baby, if I can feed then great, if I can't then it doesn't matter. Once the baby is here, you will, it's hard not to beat yourself up when you feel like breastfeeding is failing, and I don't really know anyone that hasn't had any struggles from breastfeeding, and that's not to put people off, but those initial few weeks are tough, and I just would rather be honest, they are tough. So again, that was probably one of the hardest things. And then the last thing for me is probably just not having that time to myself, because I'd been on furlough before my maternity leave started because of COVID. And I had so much time. I probably had the easiest pregnancy. From 25 weeks onwards I wasn't working, and I had a lot of time to myself. I was baking every week, I was getting prepared for Joel to arrive, I was doing a scrapbook for him, things like that really, and I just don't get time to do that anymore. And I'm the kind of person that even something simple like doing the laundry or any type of housework, I like to be able to just get on with it, and I'm not good at constantly being disturbed. So obviously as a new mum, you can't just get on with stuff anymore. You are going to get constantly disturbed 9 times out of 10, and it's just getting used to that really that I did find quite hard. But it does get easier. I've still got such a bad back constantly from carrying him around 15 weeks in, because I'm still not like that used to it. But it does get easier, and you will feel more like yourself again. I would say around 8 weeks I started to feel more like myself, and now I'm almost back there. The next question. My baby boy is due in February. How did you know that you had everything for your baby before he was born? The answer is I didn't. I did buy a lot of stuff, like a lot of stuff. Anything that anyone sort of mentioned about, I had to buy just in case. And we have used most of the stuff we've got because I was determined to not waste money and get a use out of it. But I found that watching YouTube videos on like newborn essentials videos, things like that, really helped. I was watching a couple of those a week just to check that I hadn't missed anything. But you'll find a regular sort of pattern in people's videos, like you'll see products come up, certain products come up in most of the videos, and they're kind of the ones that you obviously want to go for because they are obviously the most recommended ones out there. But yeah, you're never going to know that you've got everything 100%, but I would definitely recommend going on YouTube and watching some of those videos, making a list. And yeah, there's certain things you won't need straight away, like a baby monitor. You won't need that till they are going to bed a bit earlier without you, so I'd probably say like 8 weeks old is the time to get one of those, and certain things like that. I've actually got a newborn essentials video as well, so go over and check that out. But yeah, I think like I said, you'll never know that you've definitely got everything, and there'll be bits in the first few weeks of baby's life where you're like for me it was dummies. After, when he was a week old, I went out and bought some dummies, but I wanted to see whether we would need them or not first. But yeah, the best thing, like I said, I can advise is watching those YouTube videos, making a list, and that is the best piece of advice that I can give really. Okay, I think we've got like 3 more to go, so we're doing okay. The next one is, oh, how was your first night at home? I feel like I don't know what to do. So I'm not gonna lie, our first night at home coming out of hospital was tough. I think you're suddenly on your own, you don't have the midwives around you anymore. I'd been in hospital overnight the night before, so I constantly had like that help around me if I needed it, and then suddenly you're all on your own with this little baby. It's your first baby, you don't really know what you're doing yet. And yeah, it can be tough, and that first night it's really normal for them to be really unsettled. I do get a lot of messages saying, what did you do on your first night at home, because I just don't know how to settle them. Sorry, I've got hair in my mouth. Yeah, I think it's normal for them to be unsettled. They've been in your tummy in this tight little enclosed space, and then suddenly they're in this crib and they look so tiny in their little cribs when you first bring them home. We did find, and I wish I'd done this earlier actually, we found that swaddling Joel with those Velcro swaddles really helped, and I've mentioned them in my newborn essentials video. But they helped, they were so helpful. They make a baby feel really snug, all of their arms are like sort of tucked in, they look really cute, and they can't startle themselves awake. So I did find that helped, and I think if we were to have another baby, which most likely we will do, we will do that from day one, because that first night he was up sort of every 1 to 2 hours, and it was just hard, it was hard. But yeah, don't worry, it will come naturally. You probably will be up quite a lot for the first few nights, but baby will gradually get used to their crib, and it will get easier for you. But definitely try those swaddles, because they are meant to make baby feel a lot more secure. And the other thing I found really helped was playing white noise. So we didn't buy a white noise machine before Joel arrived, but I actually just play it off my phone on YouTube. I think when he goes into his own room, obviously I'm going to need my phone when he's in bed, so I'm going to buy like You and the Dream Sheep or Ollie the Owl or something, or My Hummy Bear or something like that, just to put in there, so we've got the white noise somewhere other than on my phone. But for now, if you want to save some money, you can definitely just use your phone while baby's in your room, and the white noise is a lifesaver. I mean, the first time we played it to Joel, he dropped off straight away. I think that was about 3 days in, and they've also got heartbeat and like womb sounds on there as well, so you can play womb sounds to them, and it just makes them feel a lot more comforted. So 100% first night at home, definitely find some womb sounds or some type of white noise to play to them, and it should help massively. And the next one is, do you want a second child already? I do get asked this quite a lot. Yes, I mean, I loved pregnancy, I loved my birth. I would do it again tomorrow if I could. Realistically, I'm not doing it again during COVID, because obviously when we got pregnant, COVID wasn't around. It was October that we found out, so I didn't plan for these restrictions to be in place for my pregnancy, and it's not something that I would choose. So I'm going to wait till it's completely over, which could be a year, it could be 2 years, and then we will think about it. I would say hopefully around Joel's second birthday we will start thinking about trying again, because I don't want a massive age gap, but also I want to wait till COVID is long gone before I do this again, because the restrictions are going to be in place for a long time. I think at least some sort of restrictions. I know they're lifting some of them, but a lot of them are going to be in place for a long time according to my midwife, and I don't want to do another pregnancy and birth without having that completely normal pregnancy and birth experience, and that's just my personal choice, because having been through it, I mean, I'd rather have done it without the restrictions. So yeah, so I think we'll probably hopefully have like a 2-year age gap, and I'm not going to rule out a third child either. We will probably stop at 2, but I won't rule out a third. Last question is, how did your cat react to your baby? Because I'm worried about how my cat's going to react. So again, I touched on this in my last Q&A video. I think someone asked me the same thing, but she was absolutely fine, to be honest. We were a bit worried because she was a rescue cat and she's come from a home with a lot of children, and it was quite a stressful household, and she was going to the toilet where she shouldn't be going to the toilet because she was stressed. That's why they gave her up. So we were a bit worried because she's been with us for it was 3 years. We got her as our wedding present to each other, so it was 3 years in September that we had her. So we were a bit worried to suddenly add a baby into the mix, but first day we brought him home from hospital, we left him in his car seat in the hall and sat with him, and she came up to him and kind of sniffed him and then wasn't bothered. And then later that night, the first time she heard him cry, she did look quite shocked. And sometimes now, if he's really overtired and he's really hungry and he's properly crying, she will run out of the room and she just can't be bothered to listen to the noise. But yeah, 9 times out of 10 she's absolutely fine with him. I needn't have worried. I can't speak for everyone because every cat's different, but yeah, touch wood, we've been very lucky and she has been absolutely fine so far. But I do always say to her, you are in trouble when he's crawling, because I feel like you're never going to get left alone. But yeah, we'll deal with that when we come to it, it's fine, but I just feel like I'm going to need eyes in the back of my head at that point. So I'm going to leave it there, because otherwise this video is literally going to be like 3 hours long. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I've got a few more videos in the pipeline to be uploaded in the next few weeks. If you've got any questions, just comment down below, and if you haven't subscribed already, do hit the subscribe button. I would be so grateful, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.